Hi everyone, I'm Gautam aka the Seeker of Wisdom. I'm a manifestation coach, and in this video we're going to be talking about money and wealth accumulation. Now before I do so, I'd like to remind you guys I am available for coaching. So I offer hourly, monthly, email and DM coaching. The link will be in the description down below for an FAQ page where you guys will have all the answers you need, and thereafter you guys can reach out to me via email or Instagram for more information on pricing and to figure out what plans may be suitable for you. I also have a Facebook group where I upload resources from time to time, as well as you guys can ask me questions anonymously if you wish to do so. Be sure to answer the 2 questions and agree to the group rules, otherwise my moderators will decline you, asking you to do the exact same thing. And I also have a mailing list where I post articles from time to time, as well as my latest offers for coaching. And last but not least, I also have a Manifesto SP course that is catered for veterans and beginners alike, that brings you from start to finish on how to manifest your SP with ease. And it really goes into detail, starting from the very basics, right, like acronyms, the fundamentals of law of assumption and so on, right? And it's aided with like quizzes, so that you guys can make sure that you are grasping whatever you learn. And it also comes with worksheets that you can print and use throughout the course, exercises and so on. And there's also videos explaining a lot of other things as well. And the neat thing about this course is that it will be updated over time, and if you buy it now, you will get those updates for free. So yeah, so without further ado guys, let's get to it. So what kind of prompted this video was a couple of different success stories from my clients, and and also I have been getting a lot of requests from you guys on money in general, right? And one thing is that, like, wealth is something, it's a state of mind, right? Like I always quote the 2011 Marginal Call movie, right? At the end of the movie, like, I think his name is Jeremy Irons, right? The guy who plays Alfred in Ben Affleck's Batman. He would say something along the lines of money is made up, and it's just a construct that's created to get this whole thing running. And he means the world basically. And otherwise we'd all be, so that we don't have to kill each other for food and everything, right? And money has evolved, right? The wealth accumulation has evolved over, ever since man has existed, right? First it was resources, and then we were trading resources for other things, and then then it was gold. We used gold to buy and sell things at one point, and then money was backed by gold in the more recent times. And then I think it was in the 70s or 80s, even money was not backed by gold anymore, and then now we have crypto. So wealth is always evolving, right? But at the end of the day, like, the way at the end of the day, it's all about a mindset, right? The way our wealth is defined has evolved, as you can see. But at the end of the day, it's a mindset, right? It's a mindset. Wealth is a mindset, right? So the way we like relate to wealth may have changed, but what wealth is, in my opinion, hasn't changed at all, which is a state of mind, right? So the first thing, to accumulate wealth in general, is that you have to have an abundance mindset, right? Have an abundance mindset. Think always from an abundance perspective, right? Like one thing I always say is that think about what you can do, and like okay, if you had everything that you desire, okay, how can you do this? Or and always think from an abundance perspective, like okay, whatever you have, like think about how you can use it to its maximum effectiveness, and like just take a step back and look at your life right now, right? See all the things that you have and be grateful for it, right? And I'll talk about it a little bit more as well. But really, just take a step back and realize like all the things that you have, and see, oh my god, like like I have all these things, and I'm grateful for it, because like this is abundance too. And like recognizing the abundance in your life is going to bring in more of that, right? It could be anything. It could be having like access to like Wi-Fi, having a decent computer or laptop, having a smartphone even, right? If you're watching this video, you probably have a decent smartphone or a computer of sorts, and you are watching this, right? So that itself kind of shows the abundance there, because not everyone has access to decent internet like maybe you do, right? And I think like just recognizing that, and like seeing that, okay, how blessed you are, like that's a great way to go about this, right? And seeing the prosperity around you in general is a great way to go about this whole thing. So start everything with an abundance mindset. See all the abundance that's around you, right? Notice that, because you're going to attract more of it, right? And which brings me to the second thing. Stop focusing on lack, right? Like, it's so easy to think, okay, oh, this person has more than me, I don't have this much, and X, Y, and Z, right? It's so easy to notice like lack when you want to manifest wealth, right? But stop that, right? Again, like, go back to the first point, where like you notice all that you have, and you attract everything based on that, right? So yeah, like, notice more of the abundance rather than the lack, and then you will attract more of abundance in general, right? And the other thing is investment, right? So always invest, right? And this is like something that I've learned with wealth, right? I'm not talking about, like, when I say invest, I don't mean like stocks and stuff like that, right? I mean invest in a broader perspective, investing in your thoughts, right? Invest in good thoughts, invest in maybe like tools and books and coaches, right? Investing in things that improves your overall well-being, those kinds of things, right? Never be afraid to invest, right? And the reason I always say this is because, like, investment always yields a positive return, right? Investment always yields a positive return. So always intend that whatever investment that you're doing is always yielding a positive return, right? So never be afraid to buy books, or any sort of materials for the accumulation of wealth, or even coaches, right? There are, like, business coaches and mindset coaches out there, or even manifestation coaches, right? Like, these things are like, it's going to aid you in your life, and it's going to like serve you in a broader perspective, right? So like, definitely don't be afraid to invest in any of these things, and like, go for it, and also investing time as well. Like, that is something that you should be doing as well, like, investing time and working on your craft or your business or anything of that sort, right? That will really help you as well when it comes to wealth accumulation. And the most important thing you should invest on is, of course, yourself, more so than anything else, right? And I'll talk about businesses and everything down the video, but I know I just wanted to talk about this really quick. But yeah, invest as much as you can, and it will yield positive returns as well. So the other thing I wanted to talk about with regards to wealth is your self concept. How are you viewing yourself with regards to wealth? Have you always thought that wealth accumulation is hard, and it's only reserved for certain people, the elites or whatsoever, that you can never break the threshold and everything like that? Or what is your self concept with regards to this? Are you financially free? Are you financially abundant? Do you see yourself that way? And if the answer is no, then start shifting your thoughts towards that as soon as you can, right? And ask yourself, like, what is it with regards to wealth that has been holding you back, right? And start to focus on that more, and that is going to help you a lot. And it's a mindset shift, right? Once you start doing it, you will start to see the changes, right? If you want to start a business, for example, okay, think about it from a business person's perspective, right? Like, okay, what are you going to do? Like, think about it from the entrepreneurial lens. Like, are you going out and looking out for opportunities? Are you intending for opportunities to come your way? Are you educating yourself? Are you doing all these things? Not that these things are a prerequisite per se, but it's like, once you start embodying the mindset, you will start to go into that track even without you realizing, right? So like, start embodying that mindset. Start to imagine what that person looks like, what it means for you, because entrepreneur is such a vague term that it can mean like so many different things. Or even like, just someone with a high paying job, for example, what does it look like to you? How does it change the way you dress? How does it change the way you feel? And looking at those kinds of things, that will really help you to kind of paint a clear picture in your mind, right? You can also like choose to script it down and to try to figure out, okay, what it means for you, what wealth accumulation means for you, because it doesn't mean the same thing for everyone. So like, start defining what it means for you, and like, start looking at your self concept. That's where it all kind of begins, right? How do you perceive yourself with regards to wealth? And if it's not favorable, then ask yourself, like, why is this the case, and so on, right? So for example, when I began my journey, I had a lot of limiting beliefs, right? Like, money doesn't grow on tree, you have to work hard, for accumulating wealth, and the other one was, you need to have a paper qualification to start earning, right? Like a degree or a diploma or anything of that sort, right? So I always thought that, if you don't, you're doomed. But ironically, of course, I think most of us know that many entrepreneurs are like college dropouts, or even the ones who are qualified. A lot of it, like their majors were very different, or they kind of admit that those things were pretty useless in the grand scale of things. What they learned, with regards to say people and those kinds of things, was what really kind of helped them to build the wealth that they did at one point, right? So I'm not like trying to bash on like a degree or a diploma or anything like that. Like, I mean, it has its place for sure. But that was a limiting belief that I certainly had at one point, before my own financial journey started. And certainly I've changed that perspective. So ask yourself, like, what are those like limits that you have, limiting beliefs you have, I should say, and start figuring those things out, right? And another thing with regards to wealth is that disassociate it from, like, say, business or work or whatsoever, right? And this might seem a little contradictory, right? Because in our minds we have had this impression to kind of fix and start associating this idea that, okay, you have to work to earn, be through a 9 to 5 job or a business of sorts, right? And we have kind of like fixed our mind towards that. But honestly, like, money can come in any way, so be open to receiving money from all avenues possible, right? So don't associate only businesses and jobs with regards to money, right? Sure, that's how a lot of people do it, but make no mistake, there are more ways to receive money, not earn, receive money, right? In my affirmations, I'm really very careful not to use the word work or earn, because I always use the word receive, because I don't want to work or earn. Like, let's be honest here, like, that is not our life purpose. Our life purpose is to live, right? I think you guys would have seen the reel or TikTok with the following phrase, right? Like that, it's I don't know which movie or song is it from, but it's a kind of like a vintage a voice, which says like, "Oh darling, I don't dream of work or labor," or something like that, right? I think you guys get what I'm talking about. And yeah, that's something that I kind of resonate with. It's like, I'm not here to work, I'm not here to earn, and all those kinds of things. I'm here to live my life, right? I've always been clear on that. And sure, some, like, I do things and to receive wealth and everything, but I'm also open to receiving it from other avenues as well, and I do, right? People will give me free money. I always get donations, or sometimes people will just give me or buy me the stuff that I've always wanted, even without me like just telling anyone, right? And it's always like shocking, in that way. So you will always like receive money in like various different ways, and it's crazy when you think about how money can come to you. And once you start receiving, it's a never ending thing. And of course, there's things like gambling, and casinos and so on. Not that I condone those things per se, like, you do it in your own discretion, of course. But like, those are ways too. I'm not going to deny that those aren't like ways to receive money, right? Like, we have seen people like make that their entire living. Like, people have lived off of like scratch tickets and like 40s and like just using going to the casinos and like just winning $1,000 a day or $3,000 a day and so on, right? Like, so you never know how like you can get money, right? How you can receive money, right? I always joke with some of my friends, like, you never know how you can become a billionaire, right? All you have to do is maybe save someone on the street or something like that, maybe one day, and without any expectations, of course. And then that person may be a millionaire or a billionaire, and then boom, you have something on your lap, just like that, right? So yeah, you never know how it may come to you. That is not your business, right? The how and the when is never your business, right? All you have to do is simply assume the state, and it will come to you, right? So like, always be open to receiving, right? So don't be fixated on like, okay, I have to work in order to receive, I have to create a business in order to receive. Disassociate those things. When I coach people for businesses, like, one thing I always say is like, kind of take a step back, take a step back and like kind of disassociate the idea of a business and money. As interconnected as these two entities may seem, kind of separate that, and that is going to help you a lot in like accumulating wealth really quickly. So it helps you because like you are not putting pressure on one thing to succeed because the other thing is dependent on this basically. And that concept really applies to a lot of things, but like I just want to talk about it from the money perspective, right? So yeah, so always be open to receiving everything. And so that's it. Let's talk about the success stories really quickly. So one of my clients, she's going to London from the US, and she was telling me a success story she had. So the story was a year ago. Okay, so currently she's going London, right? And she wanted money basically, and to pay for the trip and everything, right? So so she said, okay, I wanted to ask you in the beginning, but she was like, no, my self concept is good for money, so I got this. And the story goes, a year ago she bought a couch for about $2,000, I believe, right? So what the company did was to overcharge her an extra $2,000. So so they charged her $4,000, and eventually they refunded it back. Obviously my client actually complained, and she got it back and everything, right? So that's done. So fast forward a year, she's manifesting money right now to go for the London trip, right? And guess what? The company for that couch, for some weird reason, they refunded another $2,000 out of the blue. Like out of the blue, guys. Like I was like, wait, what? So you actually got $2,000? And she's like, yes. And I was like, wow, right? Like it was so out of the blue that she could not even make this up. And I was like so happy to hear that, of course. And I'm like really, really proud of her. So if you're watching this, I know you probably are. I'm really proud of you. Keep going, keep shining. And yeah, like I just wanted to say that. But really, like this story was amazing, and I had to share it, of course. And by the way, thank you for letting me share this as well. But really, like like this is how magical it can be, right? Like some of my friends who have other businesses, like once told me, hey, can you accept a few PayPal payments for me? Like it was a couple bucks, like but still I was like, yeah, sure. Then how am I supposed to transfer it to you? Like that was my main question, right? Because these are my friends from India. Because if like sometimes there can be transactions, there can't be transactions. There's a lot of things that. And my friend said, no, just keep it. I was like, wait, what? Like, yeah. She's like, yeah, just keep it. Like, just it is transaction on behalf of my business, of course, but just keep it. We're good. And I'm like, whoa, like where did that come from, right? And sometimes like I always will get gifts or anything of that sort. I'll win a lot of giveaways from time to time, and you guys sometimes will see that on Instagram as well, right? So those kinds of things will always happen. And like when you're opening to receiving things, right, it just kind of flows to you, right? And that really, like that perspective of like being open to receiving it from anywhere, that really helps. If you are like having any sort of a business or anything of that sort, always assume that you guys are going to get like people are willing to pay a premium for your services and so on. So one of my clients, for example, I was coaching her with regards to her biz, and recently we were talking about it. And like she's someone who used to think like, maybe what, I shouldn't charge this much because of her limiting beliefs, because of the way she was raised and everything, right? Because of the values and whatnot. So we started to like work on that. We started to say, what, do it, charge that money, be comfortable doing so. And come at it from an abundance perspective. Of course you're going to get clients. Why wouldn't they come, right? And like we really sort of tackle the self concept behind money. And immediately she signed up clients, like for her first new service that she's launching. And it was really great to see that really come out of nowhere basically. And people just signed up immediately, even before she kind of posted a review for her services. She already got more clients already, so it wasn't, she didn't have to do anything in the 3D of any sorts. So it's really amazing when you think about how you can get money, and how how it will flow to you when you're open to receiving it, right? You may get like tax rebates, or you may get vouchers, and you may actually get cash as well, if I'm being really honest, right? It can come to you in a plethora of ways. So be open to receiving money. Always think from an abundant state. Invest in yourself, in other things that it is capable. Because when you invest, right, one, you're expecting positive returns, and two, it's an energy exchange. Like you are giving out, with the intention of receiving more. and of course you have to receive more, right? And it shows that you are like coming at it from an abundance perspective. It's really a mindset. A person who is coming at it from an investment perspective always yields a lot of exponential positive returns, right? And always coming at it from receiving, be open, and if you are like associating money with your business or work, disassociate the two things. And yeah guys, so that's about it. I'll talk more about this in detail in the future as well, because I am really passionate about wealth accumulation and like financial abundance, and not just financial freedom, of course. So this is something that I really really want to expand on as well. So if you guys have any questions or any topic suggestions, be sure to leave it up in the suggestions of the YouTube survey, Google survey form, sorry, that I have. It will be put in the description as well. So guys, that's all. We've come to this end of this video. Be sure to like and drop a comment if you have any questions. Turn on the bell notification so that you guys will know when I upload a new video every single week. Be sure to subscribe, as it really goes a long way. We are going to be reaching 1,000 subscribers really really soon, so I'm really excited, guys. It is definitely a milestone, and you guys have been really supportive of this page. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you, thank you, thank you, guys. Stay safe and happy manifesting. Peace.